We will now call the public forum to order. Please turn your cell phones to the vibrate, silence, or off setting. The Gary Sansing Public Forum is intended for matters not included on the agenda for the upcoming County Commissioners meeting. Citizens wishing to address items on the agenda should sign up to speak to such items at a regular Board of County Commissioners meeting. Speakers shall refrain from abusive or profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, protest, or other conduct which interferes with orderly conduct of the Gary Sansing Public Forum. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise determined by the chairperson to allow sufficient time for speakers. If 15 or more speakers are signed up, the time will be reduced to 2 minutes out of respect for all attendees. Members of the public who would like to present a visual aid when speaking must submit all materials at least 24 hours prior to the meeting via email to submissions@myescambia.com. If you are signed up to speak today and have not already turned in your visual aids, please see a county staff member in the lobby for assistance, and we will be happy to help you. Please note these same-day submissions are determined on a case-by-case basis at the discretion of the BCC chair. At the chairperson's discretion, the Gary Sansing Public Forum may end 5 minutes prior to the scheduled start of upcoming Board of County Commissioners meeting to allow the meeting to commence on time. How many speakers total? We do have 15, so we will be moving to 2 minutes. Thank you. Our first speaker is Mary Konopka. Steve Lupert, you will be next.
Hello, commissioners. Hello, viewers. I'm addressing the county administrator today, Wes Marino. 28 days ago, you said you were going to get me information about roofing. I haven't heard anything. So my question is, roofing inspections for residential units are not done as far as I know. So the question would be, is that the truth? Are they done? Are they done by drone? Are they done by boots on the ground? Or are they done just because the inspector drives by and looks up and sees a roof?
Well, Ms. Konopka, in my research, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I believe you'd been communicating with prior to the last meeting. But we have our building official, Mr. Tim Tolbert, here tonight. And Tim, you want to come up and explain the inspection process? I believe mobile homes do fall under a separate category, more regulated by the state or DVPR. But Tim, please.
Yes, mobile homes, we really have no jurisdiction on mobile homes. We will do a roofing inspection if someone wants us to, but we can't really enforce anything. We can advise someone, and we'll look at it for them, but we really have no jurisdiction on a mobile home.
What do you do for residential? Any residential?
Well, it just depends on, is it a re-roof or if it's new. If it's a re-roof, we will leave that up to the contractor. The contractor will do an affidavit doing their in-progress inspection so they don't tear the whole roof off and inclement weather comes up and ruins the inside of the house. They will take pictures and sign an affidavit, but the homeowner has to agree to that, or we can do the inspection, either way.
And the inspection consists of?
We check the roof decking, secondary water barrier, fastening of the roof shingles. If it's shingles.
And so that inspection's not automatic?
Which inspection?
Boots on the roof or drones over the roof?
If the homeowner agrees to it, the roofing contractor can do an affidavit for that inspection.
And that includes pictures too, correct? They have to send progress pictures?
Yes.
Okay.
I can explain it to you in more detail if you'd like.
Okay, well, we can get together later, but the thing is, I was charged, so I'd like my money back. I was charged
Oh, sure.
for a permit
Yeah, we can do
and
that.
for an inspection.
Of course.
And they said they did an inspection. I never saw anybody.
Okay, I can check into that. But we can definitely, we can give you money back. If we sold you a mobile home, a permit to do a roof on a mobile home, we can
Well,
definitely refund your money.
The contractor should have known,
Yes.
should have known. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't trust contractors at all.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure when they came where.
So, and Tim, how do we report unlicensed contracting? Because that sounds like that could have been a situation here.
Oh, no,
We-
this was a very well-known.
Okay,
He is licensed?
Roofer.
Okay.
thank you. Steve Lupert, you're up, and Mr. Gary Holt, you will be after Mr. Lupert.
Good evening, Steve Lupert, 806 Rio Vista Drive, Pensacola Beach. Thank you. I'm up here tonight to address a few issues on Pensacola Beach, or really just the one. It's the traditional use of public areas in the Rio Vista Panferio Beach area. Recently, the Santa Rosa Island Authority approved a dock to go in at 1001 Panferio Drive, which is an interior lot. I can get to it here, I think. This is right here is it. It's an interior lot. You can see the navigable waters have not come up to the property line, which is where the area is fenced in. That's county area. They should never approve that. I did get a call from Ms. Hoffberger today, and she explained that she's going to be going out and looking at this area with a few people from the county and the Island Authority, and I appreciate that as a follow-up. But this is something that concerns everybody. These are public lands out here on Pensacola Beach. There's no riparian rights associated with this. If you look at some of these photos through here, you see this big area that's right here. This is all public land right here. There's no riparian rights associated with it. This area is actually growing. I'm not sure why these piers and docks were approved to begin with, because this is all public area. Being public area, it's my interpretation, these piers are all public piers, and a lot of them have private signs on them that are deteriorating. There's agreements. There's actually peer agreements with the Santa Rosa Island Authority that states that these folks are supposed to be carrying $250,000 worth of general liability insurance, releasing the Santa Rosa Island Authority from litigation, and it also says that these piers are supposed to be inspected. When there's these kind of agreements in place, this isn't private property.
Thank you, Mr. Lupert. That was the ding. And then if you'll send me a copy of this, I'll make sure to address that with the SRA meeting as well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Gary Holt, you're next, and Keith Hall, you'll be after Gary Holt.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Appreciate being able to come up and speak to you all at one time. Up here about customary use again, as we've been up here for the last, I guess, four or 5 months. And customary use, as you know, and you probably got educated on it hopefully in the last 6 months, our state representative, Andre, I can't pronounce his name, but he co-sponsored a bill to the legislature last year, and through the spring they worked on it and went through all the committees. It went to the Senate, it passed the House, it went to the Senate, passed 35-2, customary use. It went to the governor in June, and he signed it the next day. So customary use in Florida is the law. I appreciate y'all looking at it, getting educated on it over the last 6 months. The meeting this morning was great. I thought there was a lot of good input in that. I appreciate Ms. Rogers, and her synopsis of the situation was right on point. And congratulations on the announcement of your retirement. I mean, I've enjoyed working with you over the years. We've gone through zoning for the county. We've gone through easements. We've gone through septic tank regulations. So she's been through the whole thing. And I appreciate her expertise on this, and that she'll be with us for the next year, that she can help us, structure this ordinance to where it can be defended, and for the citizens of Escambia County. So, and hopefully we can get this done this spring, so this spring and summer, the citizens of Escambia County can enjoy Perdido Key without being hassled. Now, it's going to take a couple years for this to sink into the people out there that are hassling us, but hopefully we'll get that passed and the word will start getting out that the public does have rights to go out there and put their towel down and watch the sunset. So again, I appreciate your time and the opportunity to come up here and speak to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holt. And you did highlight one thing that I do want to make sure that we share with everyone. So this morning at the committee of the whole meeting, we did decide that our February COW would be to talk about customary use, and then the following meeting, we would have a discussion item for that as well. So be on the lookout for those meeting announcements if that's something that you're passionate, which judging by this list, a lot of you are. That is our meeting schedule for those items.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Gary, I appreciate all the phone calls and all the emails, and obviously the commissioner from that district was not here this morning, and, we'll take his leadership. Public access is paramount to me, and I'm going to always support public access, and so it doesn't have to be a surprise. So listen, you don't have to call me anymore. I support public access. I guarantee you that's where my vote's going to be.
Thank you. Keith Hall, and then Justin Gills will be after Keith Hall.
Hello. Thanks for your time. I'm kind of coming behind Gary, one of Gary's neighbors. Guy lives out on Perdido Key. More of a on-stage musician when it comes to microphone, but I'll just ask you guys, after hearing everything that Gary said about customary access, that we could possibly pass an ordinance to give all Escambia County residents access to the beach. I think I saw something we were reading about less than 50% of residents have even been to the beach, and the kids that would get down there probably going to Beach Access 1 would probably be a big buzzkill to have people telling them where they can and can't walk. And if you guys could just consider passing an ordinance for everybody that lives here, it'd be great. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We appreciate it. Justin Gills. And Diane Burkett will be next.
All right, good afternoon. Just to reiterate on what both my colleagues were talking about, customary use. The vast majority of people that live out Perdido Key live off of the beach. And the vast majority of owners in these condos live out of state. So we have the precedent. Before 2017, we had customary use. We have the new ordinance, and we have the population. And I'm sure if we put it to a vote, they would agree that we deserve the customary use of the beach. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Diane Burkett, and then Carl Stokely will be after Diane.
Good afternoon. My name's Diane Burnett, and I own at Beach Colony West. I'm actually the president of the HOA at Beach Colony West, and I'm unfamiliar with this ordinance, and I have to do some research on that. But what I came to ask you is that access that says public access, I believe when the development occurred was for emergency service. I don't know how the parking got there, probably as an afterthought, but there is absolutely a hard property line down to the mean high tide between the two condos that show right there for public beach, and it's really not fair for people to think that that goes into public beach when there's public beach down the way at Perdido Key. Just needs more parking and provide more access there because there's no development there. So can anybody do some research on that public access that actually occurred when this development? It was Beach Colony, and I believe the property belonged to Beach Colony at the time, back in the early 2000s, late 90s. And so it's almost like, how can you provide beach access and no beach? So if someone could do that and let me know, I would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Carl Stokely and then Charles Krupnick.
Hello, my name's Carl Stokely, and I'm a lifelong resident. Been here all my life. I have 5 children and 2 grandchildren that have enjoyed these beaches. I'm here for customary use. All my children grew up there here spearing fish there. They have a reef right at this public access that they're talking about. My children, my sons, are probably some of the best surfers on the Gulf Coast, and they have personally been harassed. They'd be skimboarding there in the wet sand, have been harassed and given a hard time. It's one of our favorite beaches. Just past fall, my daughters in Jackson, Mississippi came down. That's the beach that she could have went to any beach. I'm ex-military, so I have a lifetime pass, Johnson's Beach. That's the beach that she chose for a lot of different reasons. One reason is because the people go there is because it's a very family-friendly spot. The Snorkel Reef's just offshore. It's attraction. Over time, though, things have changed. My children have been confronted while simply walking up and down the beach, skimboarding, when law enforcement are monitoring the area, not hostile, but present. And what used to feel relaxed has become uncomfortable. Just 2 Sundays ago, during Christmas break, I actually tried to go to Johnson's Beach. Every parking lot was slammed full. I had to wait 10 minutes in the last parking lot just to get access. So the idea that, that there's plenty of other areas you can go to is just not true. Public beaches that were designed for access are filled. Public access is becoming more limited, not more available. I'm not here in opposition to any property owner. I'm simply asking that we preserve reasonable public access and reasonable space. When we recently went, it was super crowded with nobody
Thank you,
on the
sir.
right or left of us. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Charles Krupnick and then Dan Danaforth will be next.
Yes, Charles Krupnick, 14500 River Road on Perdido Key, and one of the directors of the Perdido Key Association. The Perdido Key Association Board of Directors opposes customary use on Perdido Key private beaches and hopes the concerns of our beachfront private property owners will be well considered in any upcoming discussions. Having checked Florida beach areas on the internet, though certainly not exhaustively, and albeit as a layperson, it does not seem that other areas of the state where customary use has not flared up as a major issue as far as I can tell. This could certainly awaken again in Walton County, but most areas seem either to have engineered beaches where it's not an issue or perhaps very settled private-public boundaries. I hope that becomes the case on Perdido Key, where private beaches have been existent since 1957 with the original private land acquisitions from the federal government. While customary use was not recognized legally in Florida until 1974. To get to customary use, citing a Volusia County hearing, courts have noted it often requires a fact-intensive inquiry that must be determined on a fully developed record. Hopefully this will occur if there is serious discussion on moving toward customary use on Perdido Key. Past discussions have mentioned ambitious areas such as county acquisition of the Perdido Key State Park or Perdido Key area of the Gulf Islands National Seashore, Johnson Beach. But it's really been a good deal having the state and federal governments fund routine maintenance and storm damage on those Perdido Key parks. And beach access is only one of the reasons that they're there. It's also to preserve nature and maintain cultural resources and so forth. Perhaps the state park could increase its parking from about 50 or so in each of the areas to
Thank
a
you
little
so
bit
much,
more.
Charles. We appreciate it. Dan Danforth, you're next, and then Susie Terrell. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dan Danforth, Project Hydrology. Madam Chair, gentlemen, I appreciate your commitment to our citizens and your patience as you steer these meetings. I know they can be very challenging. You're making plans for the future that will impact your commissioners 20 years from now. So thank you for your commitment in moving us forward. I wanted to follow up and let you know, and I'm sure you know, that Chip Kirstenfeld and his office, Tim and Brent, they were able to procure that grant that we brought the opportunity to you last year. So that's really exciting. This is a water quality product. It works a lot like probiotics for your stomach. It circulates natural bacteria in water bodies, and we think we can fix a lot of our historical problems, including red tide, with this. And so what I want to add on to that is that this community and this board has invested in infrastructure that has not been tested before in America. And we brought 2 products to the market. We won the FSA conference last year, recognized as a state stormwater leader. And those investments by Mr. Berry and Lumen, they are now being marketed nationwide by Ferguson. And it started in this room, right here. Some of our projects have been more challenging than others, for sure, but the ability to move water down and where it's at is how our engineers need to be thinking. Mr. May's project, it made a ditch this wide act like a ditch this wide in the same footprint, because we can get rid of water in where it lands. So that was a wonderful project. Lincoln Park, we've dried that surface area there, you know. Here's the kudos. You took a leap of faith to try new products. Those things are starting right here in this room, so congratulations, and thank you for your support. We're looking forward to it, and I'll follow up as we go, but thank y'all very much for what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Chips, do you want to come up and tell us about that grant?
Oh, and I got but just a second there, yeah. But these are for y'all. We teach the new stormwater rule. Go ahead.
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
Commissioners, yeah, we just received notice a few weeks ago from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection that we will be receiving a grant that we applied for back in the summer to look at some new technology to reduce algae blooms in some of our stormwater ponds, especially the Equestrian Center stormwater pond that typically has a green scum layer of algae on the top. So we'll be working with Dan and his group over the next couple months and working with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to look at those projects.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Happy New Year.
Susie, you're up, and Laura Bagras? Bagras? Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I'm an owner. I manage 2 condos at the Grand Caribbean. And this was the first complex that was ever built right there, the very first one. I don't understand how a development such as Beach Colony and La Playa can come in and change the beach access, like they own it to the wet water or the wet sand. Because people are getting ran off. Like I have renters that come into my unit and they go down there and they're just rude. They tell them they can't, go past this line, and the public area is so crowded that there's nowhere for them to really enjoy the beach. And I'm getting comments from my renters, we're never coming back. So what's going to happen is all of the people are going to start going to Gulf Shores. They're not going to want to come to Perdido Key with that kind of action. I know that DeSantis passed this bill, the 1622 bill, in June, but they were out there July, August, September, just being rude to people, and running them off the beach. And they're putting their chairs right up on the wet sand, so people can't even walk in the dry sand. And they won't let them walk in the dry sand. They say, you can't go past this line, you gotta stay in the wet water. And that's just not the way you should treat our tourists. I'm sorry. Whoever passed this bill, whoever passed the zoning or whatever it is for them to have this as their private beach, That should have never happened. I am off asking that the county officials now step in and pass a bill to the 1622 bill saying that they are going to give the tourists at least 10 feet of dry sand. Just 10 feet of dry sand. That's all they need.
Laura, and then Larry Downs, you're next. McGrath. McGrath.
Hi, guys. I know that last month I stood up here and said thank you for setting a cow meeting, and I was wrong. It was not set. So today I say thank you for setting that. We're looking forward to it. We appreciate all of you for helping push this agenda forward. I am not a public speaker. I'm reading now. I'd like to remind all of you that there are many more voters that are non-beachfront citizens. Our group that has continued to speak out are not just condo owners. They live on Innerarity in Perdido Bay Country Club, Innerarity Island. Some of our group also own investment properties and depend on tourists for their income. Please consider the outrage of citizens. Well, thank you. Please consider the outrage of citizens if you vote no to customary use. We believe it's the right of all our citizens and our tourists here to be able to use our beaches. Thank you guys for voting yes.
Thank you. Larry Downs, and then Lori Newman, you'll be after Larry Downs.
Extra minutes she didn't take, and the others.
Thank you.
Let me know whenever y'all get those. I don't want to start my time yet.
You gave me 2. Are you going to be short one? Thank you, sir.
Everybody got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Y'all got a local celebrity here on the front page of the New York Times from 3 weeks ago, fighting for freedom. Something, not all y'all were here, but something a few of y'all was here and wouldn't fight for. Actually told people to get those shots. Anyways, this is Dr. Paul Offit here. Hold on. Well, never mind. Anyways, I got a proposition for Lumen May. I've increased it. I took a kid down there who was going in the Coast Guard that I'd prepared him for it physically, took him to the health department, got his vaccine record, cost me $10. He brought it to MEPS so that they wouldn't overshoot him with these corporate chemical vaccine injections. So my proposition is, Lumen, since you told all your people, you told all your people to get those COVID shots. My proposition is, I got $5,000 to donate to a charity of your choosing. The former county commissioner, Gene Valentino, I asked him personally to put it up. He said he would do another $5,000. That is $10,000 so that you can prove to the people, because you know what we have? We have vaccine hesitancy off the chain in this country. You could help with that locally. So if you'll go with me to the health department, that's $10,000. And I'll even go one further. You don't have to give it to a charity of your choosing. You can spend it any way you want. So let's do it. Let's do it, Lumen. You know it's a beautiful thing to show people that you got those shots that you told them to get. I mean, I wouldn't have told them that, but you did. You even shamed and shunned me for not getting them. You said, come on, Larry, we got a vaccine drive tomorrow. Let's go do it. No. You want to apologize? Apologize, Lumen.
If you raise it to $50,000, Larry, and we'll do it, all right?
All right, we can do it. We gonna do it? Oh, thank you. Me and you we're gonna shake hands afterwards. Awesome.
Lori Newman, and then Diane Crummell will be after Lori Newman.
Okay, thank you. I'm here today to urge you to move forward with an ordinance that ensures customary use on the Gulf waterfront beaches of Perdido Key. I want to personally thank Commissioner Berry for listening to the citizens of Escambia County and taking action by getting this vote for an ordinance to enforce customary use on the agenda in February. Thank you, Mr. Berry. My name is Lori Newman, and I am a founding member of the We Got It Done Save Pensacola Beach team. Public beaches, no matter how they are recognized, be it by deed or customary use, is something that I strongly support and believe in. I am here to tell you that our Save Pensacola Beach team knows all too well how to battle to save our public beaches, no matter how long it takes. And I know there are 2 commissioners on the dais right now that clearly remember the 2.5 years that we showed up for their meetings over and over and over again, every 2 weeks, demanding that our public beaches be protected. I want to thank Commissioner May and Commissioner Berry for your support in the past and doing the right thing for the people then. The public's right to access Perdido Key's beaches was stripped away by the 2018 state law that curtailed local authority over customary use. That mistake has since been corrected. The legislature repealed the restriction, and the governor signed the restoration of local authority on June 24th, was my birthday, by the way, 2025, so that was a nice birthday gift. The only missing step is for Escambia County to pass its own ordinance. Customary use on Perdido Key is already well defined. A federal easement establishes public access 75 feet from the water's edge, and Escambia County has successfully defended this standard against frivolous lawsuits. All of you commissioners were elected by the voters to do the will of the people, and the people have spoken. With that being said, I want to thank you in advance for doing the right thing and listening to the people, and I look forward to you passing this ordinance in February, and I will be back and see you then.
Thank you so much. Diane Crummell and Robert Kleinenschmidt.
Okay. All right, I'm here. I'm here today to urge you to move forward with an ordinance that ensures customary use on the Gulf waterfront beaches of Perdido Key. I want to personally thank Commissioner Berry for his valiant effort today to get this on the agenda for a vote in February. My name is Diane Crummell, and public beaches are my life and what drives me. I am the founder and leader of the grassroots movement known as Save Pensacola Beach that was responsible for killing Matt Gaetz's bill in 2017 that would have privatized Santa Rosa Island, better known as Pensacola Beach, by overturning an act of Congress in 1947 that deeded much of Santa Rosa Island to the citizens of Escambia County. We went on to get a non-binding referendum on the 2018 ballot that won overwhelming support when 95,000 citizens of Escambia County voted in favor of keeping our beaches publicly owned. This is something that crosses party lines. 80.2% of the citizens of Escambia County proved that they love and want public beaches. The bottom line is that you were elected to do the will of the people, and the people have spoken and made it loud and clear that they want and deserve more public beaches. So there's no guessing, is this what the citizens of Escambia County want? These are your constituents, the people that voted you into office, asking you to do the right thing and pass this customary use ordinance now. Nearly 75% of the voters on Perdido Key voted with us to preserve public beaches. Those that live on Perdido Key that don't have the luxury of living on Gulfront beaches are in the same boat as the rest of us in Escambia County. They can't use the Gulf waterfront either, unless you pass the ordinance to enforce customary use. I owned a condo on the Gulf side of Perdido Key for more than 20 years, and never, ever did I know that I'd owned the property down to the water's edge. People enjoyed the beach, and we had no issues sharing it. It was customary and expected. Everybody got along. And it was just a really wonderful time back then, thus the term customary use. And the governor issued an executive order on customary use. What more do you need? Please be proactive instead of reactive and pass this. And I just want to add that an assault on any public beaches is an assault on every public beach, and that Save Pensacola Beach is on standby to take the action necessary to ensure that customary use is passed.
Thank you. Robert, and then Melissa Pino, you'll be after Robert.
Madam Chair, Ms. Crumble, sorry for your illness and those things, but thank you. When we couldn't find help to feed people with Sylvia Tisdale, and even though you were down, you've continued through these holiday seasons to not only do access, but to provide resources. And it has not gone unnoticed by my office, and when we needed people, you've stepped up throughout this entire time, even when you were sick. So I want to publicly thank you, Diane, for what you're doing.
Well, thank you too, Lynn. I appreciate that.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Robert Kleinschmidt. I live on Lakewood, which is in District 2, Warrington, Bayou Chico area. I want to talk a second about Bayou Chico and bring some attention to, we work really hard, and you guys have worked hard bringing a lot of beauty to the Pensacola to bring more people. We spend money at the sailing center that they just opened, and the stadium, and the park that they just, not sure the name of that park, but park right along that shoreline. And then you go into Bayou Chico, and it's a wonderful waterway. It's a lot of resource. A lot of people bring their boats, and there's restaurants, and it's, really nice. But if you look around, it looks like crap. There's a lot of derelict vessels that have been there for years and years and years. If you go further into the bayou, there's derelict vessels that have been there years and years. We have a couple people live on their boats. One guy's been living on the boat for 14 years, and the boat's never moved. I'm just, doesn't take rocket science to figure out where he's dumping his sewage. Another vessel out there, he's been living on the boat a couple of years. Another boat just pulled in the bayou and it's parked at the dock, it's a 70-foot boat, and he's planning on being there a couple of years. He doesn't dump his sewage. He doesn't go, the boat's not moving. So I know they do tests. They were doing tests in the last couple of years. Somehow Bayou Chico didn't make the current set of tests for the different bayous this last go around, from what I understand. But it's a real cause of concern, the dumping in the boats and the derelict vessels. We've been working on that for years, been going to a Marine Advisory Committee for 3 years trying to make something happen with, some kind of ordinance to work together. You guys have to work with the state, I realize that. But, over in Little Sabine, if you park there for a week, they'll come out and tell you, you can stay here 2 weeks and you're gone. So maybe that the information that I put on y'all's desk, you don't have to go look it up. It's in regards to how they do it over in Little Sabine, and maybe that's something we can look, and we'll talk more about this. But thank you if y'all could just have a look. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay. Melissa Pino, and then Kevin Wade. You'll be after Melissa.
Thank you, Chairwoman Hoffberger. Melissa Pino, 413 Southeast Boblitz. Commissioner Stroberger, I'm really sorry for you and Gina's loss and your whole family's loss. It's really tough. I'm glad that you were able to make it tonight. What's unfair is that 7 years ago, the Huckabee legislation, the corrupt legislation that they put through, kicked people off the beaches. It's only been 7 years. So I'm sorry if some people are new, if they've got convenience short on memory. Beach Access 1 has been there forever. I mean, and no one's trying to take away the plat lines. People will still own the property. You're not going to lose your property. You just have to let the public use your beach. This isn't rocket science. It happens all over the country. Mr. Krupnick, and forgive me if I'm wrong, Charles, it's been a long time, and maybe things have changed, but if memory serves, he owns a couple of condos in the Seafarer. That's the one that Doug was trying to, sell to the Seafarer, the Beach Access 4. That would make him owner of 2 of roughly 1,200 Gulf front condos. There are 332,000 people in Escambia County. The math here is not hard. As Diane pointed out, 80-some% of the voting public voted for their referendum. I am so grateful to Commissioner Berry for broaching this conversation because, look, y'all are getting off easy because we posted this everywhere online, which is why we don't have bigger numbers tonight, because people hear that, you guys have got it agended. The next thing you're going to want to look into is Baby Beach. Mr. Lupert is right. Those are problematic liability piers that should not be going in, that you guys are going to own the liability for, and you need to get that vote vetoed. I'm not hammering on your proxies. This is an executive director and an at-large member problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Kevin Wade, and then Norman. No, sir, I'm sorry. Thank you. Kevin Wade, and then Norman Jetter will be after Kevin Wade.
I should have a folder here somewhere, right?
Oh, yes, wait.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Wade, 413 Southeast Boblets. Can I get these put up from there we go. Tape marking the crime of stolen public beach access. All right, we know where that's coming from. Uniformed deputy guarding the dry sand. Yes, they kick people off of it. Condo hired deputy on patrol against day visitor incursions. And must be some of those, one of the 7 families from Alabama that rents a condo that Doug Underhill went on and on about. The Indigo, private property, no trespassing signs. To correct something, Beach Access 1 has been there for decades. The parking was part of the project. There are condos right next door to it that go ahead and allow their visitors to use those parking spaces. And it's a perennial problem, has been for decades. Well, it wasn't that big a problem right around Ivan and George and Danny and those hurricanes that drive people off the beach for months, if years. Underhill, immediately upon taking office, held a conference with condo owners out in Perdido Key and said there's no way to do a stupid thing correctly. And he offered over and over and over again to get rid of beach access number 1. We stopped that. I thank you so much for bringing your words this morning at the COW to move this issue forward. Please do it, get it done. I don't want to have to wear new T-shirts. We don't need merch, okay? You don't need merch. We don't need merch.
Norman Jetter, you're next. I do want to clarify around the COW. So the COW will be for us and staff to discuss. We don't take public input at the COW. That will be at the following meeting. So we'll have the COW in the morning, we'll meet in the evening, and then the next meeting will be available for public comment. So feel free to show up to the COW, but we don't take public input at the COW meeting. So I just want to make sure we're being very clear about that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Norman Jeter. I live on Bobolink Road on Inready Point. My family moved onto the beach in around 1970. I was about 10 years old, and the beach was open. There was not any problem from the main dune line down. That was public beach. I understand that maybe you guys might be looking for pictures of what it used to look like in the back then. I've got tons of slides of the beach and the customary use of that beach. I'm losing train of thought here. Thank you for bringing all this up, and I think that there are tons of people out there that are concerned about this subject. It's obscene to go out there and be told that you can't stand on the beach. The land it's always been public access. There was never a problem, and I don't think you'll run into a problem now. And I think if anyone that votes to keep the folks off the beach, I think you're probably going to suffer come the next election, because there's an awful lot of people concerned about this. But it is. But thank you for allowing me the time to do this, to speak. Question?
No, if you're all done, I'm going to speak.
I'm finished. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir, Commissioner Stroberger.
So I don't think everybody understands what a steep hill customary use is going to be. It can't be, we're going to talk about it in February. There's not going to be an ordinance passed. It can't be passed with an ordinance, right?
If the board wants to declare customary use over a certain geography, it needs to be done by ordinance. We certainly are
Right.
not to the point as a board where you're going to be voting on one.
But every parcel will have to be litigated, every single parcel. Yeah, on that stretch of beach or that 1.2 miles, there's, I don't know, 60 plus.
But
Is that
can
right?
we get a point of clarification on Commissioner what he's saying? Because it was not my understanding that you got to litigate every single parcel to provide public beach access. I mean, we can provide public access. And I know this is not time to have the discussion, but I just want to make sure there's clarification.
Well, it's going to be costly. It'll be very costly. It'd probably be the most expensive.
You would not be expected to do a different ordinance for each parcel.
No, I know that.
But
I
you
know
need to
that.
define the
But every
geography.
single parcel owned by a private entity is going to be able to sue.
Generally, that's probably true, but
Yeah.
I would anticipate in such a case, and we are getting hypothetically down the road, that would be consolidated into a case.
Okay. So you
Each
know.
some owners may not care and some may care, and I mean, each is going to be an individual issue potentially, or maybe there's an argument that applies to some geography and not others. But I would anticipate in a normal world, in the courts, that it all ends up in the same case.
All right. Well, I'll tell you that I would love to die on this hill because I respect property rights too, as much as I respect public access to the beach. And so we'll talk about this, and I'm ready to talk about it now, but we'll wait till February. Thank you.
Any other commissioners have anything they want to add to that?
Well, the only thing, and that's why I asked the question this morning on the plat, because that's why I want to have a Cal so we can flush all this out before we make a decision. And it's becoming evident to me that we have to have that discussion by staff and the attorneys to do their homework, and then we come up with something on the 19th. So, I know, but that's all I want to say.
So,
Thank you.
and I'm under the impression at the Cal, Allison will present something, Tim Day's department will be presenting something. Should us in the community be expecting presentations from any other departments? No. Okay.
No, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. And that agenda will be published ahead of time on the county website as well. Okay, that wraps up our speakers for public forum. We will reconvene in 14 minutes for our regular scheduled BC. Did you sign up? Okay, you're not on my list, but that's okay. I believe you. Come on up, Chris Kerb. Did we miss anyone else? Will you go on and approach, and then you can go after Chris? Did you sign up outside, ma'am? Okay, if you can go on and sign up outside while Chris is speaking, and then we can add you to the list. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Chris Kerr with Flood Defenders. Happy New Year, by the way. I didn't see the normals at Larry Downs Jr.'s New Year's Eve party. It was a blast, but missed you there. Speaking of the new year, Chapter 2024-275, the rules start out, which revise Chapter 62-330 of Environmental Resource Permit Rules. They go into effect now as the first of the year for phosphorus and nitrogen removal out of your stormwater. Dan mentioned some good products that work well on doing that stuff, so kudos to him, and I'm glad to see y'all working with Project Hydrology. Another thing that happens this year is NOAA Atlas 15 rainfall precipitation data will be published, and DOT has already adopted the most current and available up-to-date rainfall data under Chapter 339.157 Florida statutes under their Resilience Action Plan. Guess what? Now we got 3 different design standards that our engineers have to work with for stormwater. You got county design standards that allow the use of 1979 rainfall data. You got the Water Management District and DEP regulations that only require a 25-year design. And then you got DOT. They're the ones y'all need to be going toward. I mentioned that before. I wanted to mention one thing. I'm not staying for the whole meeting, but under car 31 HMGP buyout for Gene and Ronnie Stout. I understand grants take a long time, federal grants especially. I just want to say it's about time that those folks have been flooding for years. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate it. Ma'am, I don't have your name. I'm sorry, but if you'll go on and come up, you can speak. Thank you for signing up. We appreciate it. No, you're fine.
I didn't plan on doing this, but I think what's really confusing about this is that Governor DeSantis has already done all the research. He would not have signed this if it was going to cause us a lot of problem. That was the whole idea of his amendment and his law, was so that we wouldn't have to have all these lawsuits for individual properties. That was the whole idea of it. And if you'll read it, I know I read it extensively, and I think that it's the right thing to do. I mean, he's already done all the research for you. I mean, just go along with
He
our
hasn't
governor.
done all the research. Customary use, you still have to prove customary use. And from what I've done my research, it has to be all the way, it could be as far back to statehood of Florida, or at least when those parcels were divided up. We have to prove customary use. And I don't think there can be any break in any use. It's got to be continuous. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do.
But why would he do, I mean, he would not.
I don't know why he would do that.
Well,
Why would
because
he
he's
say
done
no
the
more property
research.
taxes?
He's done the research. He's not going to take a chance on this and make a bill that doesn't stand. I wouldn't think so. I mean, I trust him, and I know that he would not do that. So I'm thinking, you guys really, it's an easy vote. Support him. He's our governor. I mean, you know, I'm just trying to be logical, and like I said, I didn't expect to speak today, but when I heard that, I thought, wait a minute, I've read it over and over again, and that was the whole idea. So you wouldn't have to go through all these lawsuits. That was the whole idea. Thank you. Please, you know.
So,
that's
and
all
I
I'm
do want to
just trying
say, not specifically to this, but sometimes at a state level, they dictate things and they give us a goal, but they don't give us a way to get there. They don't give us an ordinance to get there. They don't give us a way to enforce it. So even if that is the goal of this board, we still have to find a legal way to get there that will help us stay out of court. So
well,
I
of
think that
course.
was,
I
the goal might be there, but we still have to find a map to get to
I
whatever
understand
that might
that, but I really feel we need to really, you know, go along with our governor.
Thank
I mean, you know, that's the way I feel about it.
Did we have anybody else sign up? Okay, so thank you. We will adjourn until the regular scheduled BCC meeting, which will convene at 5:30. It is currently 5:23, so we will see you all in 7 minutes. Thank you. If we can get the county commissioners back to the dais, it's 5:30.
That's for the meeting.
Oh, that's not bad. Uh-oh, did I lose my paper I'm supposed to read? Did I throw that away too? Hold on. If we can get the rest of the BCC back to the board, back to the dais, please. All right, we have 4 of 5. Welcome to the Board of County Commissioner meeting. Please turn your cell phone to the vibrate, silence, or off setting. The Board of County Commissioners allows any person to speak regarding an item on the agenda. The speaker is limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise determined by the chairperson to allow sufficient time for all speakers. If 15 or more speakers are signed up, time will be reduced to 2 minutes out of respect for all attendees. Members of the public who would like to present a visual aid when speaking should submit all materials at least 24 hours prior to the meeting via email to submissions@myescambia.com. If you are signed up to speak today and have not already submitted your visual aids, please see a county staff member in the lobby for assistance. Please note that same-day submissions will be determined on a case-by-case basis at the discretion of the BCC chair. Speakers shall refrain from abusive, profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, protest, or other conduct which interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. Upon completion of the public comment period, discussion is limited to the board members and questions raised by the board. Thank you so much. Commissioner May, I believe you have the invocation for tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to have the senior pastor of the St. John Divine Baptist Church, Pastor Joseph Marshall. Pastor Marshall, would y'all please stand and join us?
Thank you so much, Commissioner May. Shall we all bow our heads? Precious God, our Father, we are tremendously grateful as always for the privilege and opportunity that you would even allow us to come into your presence. We come to you, Lord, humble as we know how, totally submissive to you and your power thereof. We find it fitting that before we ask anything of you to first and foremost let you know how thankful that we are for permitting us to see another year. This is a year that we've never seen and a year that we will never ever see again. So God, we ask now that if you would continuously guide us, specifically, Lord, our public officials, that God, that you will continue to abide with them, that you would grant unto each and every one of them collectively as well as individually guidance, wisdom, and understanding, that as they lead this great county that we know as being Escambia County, that you may get all of the glory and all of the praise. We thank you in advance for what you have done for our great county. We thank you for what you are doing, and we're even crazy enough to thank you in advance for what you're going to do in and through our public officials as well as our county and this city in which we love called Pensacola, Florida. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Kohler, if you'll lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pastor Marshall, thank you. And I know two of my colleagues shared with us during Military Appreciation Sunday how open you were to welcome me and two of my colleagues into your church. And thank you for all the great work that you do for this community and all the things that you've done. And as I said earlier to someone, the feeding and the toys and all the things that you did throughout this holiday season, a lot of children in District 3 are blessed because of the work that you've done at McGee Field and the banquets and the things that you did. And so I'm very thankful. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Are there any items to be added to the agenda, Commissioner Kohler? No. Commissioner Berry? Commissioner May? Commissioner Stroberger?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the adoption of the agenda?
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Commissioner Forum, Commissioner Kohler?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pastor Marshall, it's good to see you. It's funny when you see someone after you've been to an event and you get a big smile, and we had a lot of time in fellowship. That I didn't know you were doing the invocation tonight, but fellow veteran and a great guy, and so I'm glad to have you here tonight. Thank you for being here. Commissioner Stroberger, I know my wife is close with your wife, and I'm sorry about your mother-in-law. Anytime, I know we all are getting at an age where a lot of our parents and aunts and stuff are passing. I'm just sorry for that, and I know Gina knows that from my family. In the next couple weeks, there will be something called legislative days where commissioners come from around the state to Tallahassee to basically try to guide policy for counties. The biggest thing that will come up, I believe, this time will be the property tax issue. As I've mentioned before, there is no interest in any municipality or county without knowing where we would make up the $32 billion. So that's something that, while I go over there, I would like some definition so that we can figure out when we do budgeting this year where we're going to be going and where we're going to need to lead on the future of the budget for Escambia County. And it's a very serious issue because it would be right now currently several millions and millions of dollars that we would have to figure out what to do with if that passed. So that's just one thing. I think a couple of the commissioners will be there with me, and there will be several different things we're working on. I'm on several committees for that. I just want to say we also have Martin Luther King holiday coming up. We'll be there for the parade, Luma, before our next meeting. Look forward to that. And the only other thing I want to say is Happy New Year. I look forward to a great 2026.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I want to certainly send condolences to our colleague, Commissioner Stroberger. Very sorry to hear about your mother-in-law passing. It's terrible, always a terrible event, certainly a terrible season for that event with, with so many young children. I believe there's a lot of young children in your family. To have that happen, it's a kind of a damper through the holidays. So our thoughts and prayers are with you, as well as with my aide, Dawn Trosh, lost her grandmother over the holidays, and the services were earlier this week. Lived a long life to 94. I think that's something that we could all, will hopefully all reach. So it's a blessing to live that long, but it's still, it's still a very tough time when those folks pass. I want to certainly wish everybody a happy New Year. I want to recognize a couple of Teachers of the Year that were recently announced in District 5. Megan Bryan at Ernest Ward Middle School is a Teacher of the Year for this year at Ernest Ward. Holly Kendrick is Teacher of the Year at Ransom Middle School, and Taria Garrick is Teacher of the Year at Pine Meadow Elementary School. So 3 District 5 schools just recently released their Teacher of the Year for this year, and that's certainly something that's worth recognizing. It may not be our body that they're a part of, but it's certainly a part of our constituency that they affect tremendously. Public education's they should probably be our permanent greatest partner as we move forward for the 300,000 citizens that we represent. Thank you.
You finished, Commissioner? Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner Berry. And again, Happy New Year to all of our citizens and all of our staff. Commissioner Stroberger, so sorry for your loss. It's not a matter of if, it's just when, and certainly for you to get back here today just says a lot about your dedication. And so my prayers are to you and your wife and your grandchildren and to all of your family. I want to personally, and it's fitting today that Dr. Marshall is here. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Tyler Hardiman, Pastor Lonnie Wesley, and Pastor Joseph Marshall and Pastor Robert Likely. For many years, we have been able to feed and give kids toys in depressed and deprived neighborhoods throughout our CRAs. And I just want to thank Pastor Marshall, if you would convey that to the faith-based community for stepping up to the banquets and stepping up to the feeding and making sure that every child had something under the tree for Christmas. That means a lot. If that's not a quality of life, I don't know what a quality of life is if we can't help those who are in dire need, into community caring, Ms. Sue Strong, and all that
they did and all those that volunteered to help out with this initiative and on bikes with Walker Wilson and his staff. We certainly appreciate it. And Pastor Marshall, thank you for your military service. And this week, unfortunately, this last week, we have lost some tremendous lives. I was at St. John Divine Baptist Church for Eldred McLam, who lost his life. He's the son of probably the head Masonic Order leader, Mr. Billy Lamb, his son, and we're there with his grandchildren at St. John Divine, and as well to Faith Franklin, Roderick Cannon, and Anthony Franklin Jr. We lost a true psalmist, a true minister and evangelist in Marilyn Franklin Cannon at the St. John Baptist Church, and our prayers and our condolences go to Pastor Mason and all of the LCD and all of the Zion Hope Primitive Baptist Church family, because the gospel music industry will have a great loss in losing a true minister as Marilyn Franklin. I do want to thank the MLK Commemoration Committee for allowing us to be the Grand Marshal this year for the MLK Parade. Lots of activities, the MLK Parade, the commemoration breakfast, the commemoration gospel service, as well as the Living a Dream event will all be the starting Saturday on January 17th all the way through January 19th. Lots of events that all of the community, not just one segment of the community, can participate in, and I encourage people to educate our children, educate our families on the legacy and the life of Dr. Martin Luther King and the great contributions that he brought to this community and that he brought to this state and this country and this world by demonstrating love. Finally, I would like to congratulate a friend of all of ours, Ms. Sonia Daniels, 30 years of service. She served here in our PIO department of Escambia County and finished her years in the supervisor elections. And Wes Marino and I were able to stop by with a few other staff people to send her a farewell, and former Commissioner Bender was there, and so we do want to thank Sonia Daniels for 30 years of public service to the citizens of Escambia County. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner, to be fair, I did try a number of years ago to have her maybe finish those working years out with us. It's been maybe upwards of 10 years ago, but it's been a while. But once she had a taste of the Supervisor of Elections office, she wasn't coming back to this.
You don't get beat up quite as much over there as you get beat up over here. I mean, you have to have a little tough skin to come on this end. Yeah, it's okay.
But we're so much fun.
I mean, listen, every Thursday, I look forward to it. I mean, I'm excited about tonight. I mean, that's why Haley's here. We're going to have so much fun tonight.
Commissioner Sturberger.
Okay, my turn. A lot happened between since our last meeting and today, last meeting in December. I want to highlight one, and that was before Christmas. Hassan, Connor, and I from our District 1 office, we went to Silver Lake to pass out Christmas presents. And we were in a fire truck rolling into the neighborhood, and I saw kids. They looked like they were going to cry. Because we had Santa Claus on the top of the fire truck. And I'm just looking out, and I'm seeing the kids and how happy they are. And we brought presents. Thank you to Katrina, Hassan, and Youth Left Behind. Also want to thank Firehouse Number 1 for being there with us and supportive the whole time. It was a great thing. I look forward to doing that every year, Hassan. Next thing is, earlier this year, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, American foreign policy should always be rooted in the interests of the American people. That means every dollar we spend and every action we take should produce measurable results that make us safer, stronger, and more prosperous. That same standard should apply here in Escambia County. Everything we do should focus on making our community safer, stronger, and more prosperous. That's why we fund the Sheriff's Office, Fire and Rescue, Emergency Services, because safety is foundational. And it's why we must ask hard questions of every program and every dollar. Does it deliver results? Can we measure the benefit to our residents? If the answer is yes, it's responsible government. If it's not, we owe taxpayers a second look, because we're going to be looking at the budget this coming year, and I know that we all want our county to run efficiently, and we don't want to necessarily cut services, but we might have to do that. So it's going to take a hard look. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I add an add-on, please?
Yes, sir.
I just, Commissioner Stroberg, I appreciate you tickling my memory, because I was out with Hassan in Marino Court, and I've been out with him over the years in Lillian Court. And sometimes we take for granted how much we have, but those poor kids that were there in their pajamas and didn't have a lot, Hassan made a Christmas for them, and I was there with them, and I think it's good for us to challenge ourselves times, to put ourselves in environments that where some of us have a little bit more than others. And Hassan, you do a great job with that. And I just want to tell you, the folks there, those kids, really appreciate it, and you could see that. And so I just want to say thank you so much for what you did, I know, in 3 of the districts in the county.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
And Hassan, I do appreciate so much what you've done. And Haley, I would be remiss if I didn't. I mean, we gave out probably over to 800 to 900 individual children. And when those children didn't have anything in the day after Christmas, we were still giving out toys. And so, I mean, you know, I spent my December 26th and 27th with you, going to families that didn't get anything for Christmas, didn't get a piece of ham, didn't get a toy. And thank you for exposing those that I did not know in the Brownsville area that didn't get anything. So, Haley, thank you. And I know you guys did it out of your pocket and you gave gifts. And to me, that's the greatest gift that we can give, is for a child to get something. And to those kids that did not get it to after Christmas, next year we're going to work very hard to make sure that they get it before Christmas. So, Haley, thank you.
Thank you all so much. Earlier tonight when the pastor prayed, he's right. 2026 will never come around again, and we do have some incredible opportunities in front of us as a community. I do want to take some time to celebrate those. We will be moving forward with 4 new fire stations, which is huge. And then one of the things that Commissioner Stroberg said is investing in public safety, and I want to give you some numbers on that. Prior to 2025, our resuscitation rate was below the national average. National average is about 20%. Our resuscitation rate in Escambia County was below 10%. Last year, we made the move to bring on a new medical director, Dr. Abo, and within the year, he has our resuscitation rates double the national average at 40%. So for those of you who know people who have went into cardiac arrest, or you have friends who have experienced heart pains or chest pains, you know how important those numbers are. So we are moving forward with investing in public safety, and we are making a difference in our community. And this year, we have the opportunity to make Escambia one of the safest, most prosperous places to live, and I look forward to working with all of you to do that. Today at the CAL, we had a wonderful meeting about moving forward with a piece of property at the heart of our community that will be able to provide jobs and hopefully housing for members of that surrounding community. And we're looking at laying the foundation to create good, high-paying jobs, and I am so excited for that. So for all the wonderful things coming down the pipeline, we are looking forward to making those things happen for our community this year. Okay. We will move right along to proclamations. Do I have a motion to adopt the Perfect. And we do have one proclamation to be read. Who's reading this? Nikki.
So I am here with Miss Natasha Crenshaw Anglin, who is our HR Director's Aide. And I think Director's Aides are often undervalued positions in this county. I think that our departments are so unique, and all of our directors are so unique, that you have to have a director's aide that is unique who can handle you and your department. The position's not technically considered a management position, yet they are often required to speak on the behalf of their department or their director. The responsibilities are just truly unique. Ms. Tasha acts as our office manager, our accountant, our contract manager, our event coordinator, and handles our main phone line with a grace that few can possess. I joke that she deserves hazard pay for that main phone line. We get citizens of Escambia County who don't know who else to call. They see human resources and they think we are the area to help. She has taken it upon herself to create a directory, and if somebody's trying to reach the sheriff's office, she doesn't just tell them that you have the wrong number. She says, here's the number. Here's who you can call. Here is the number for the Escambia County Utilities Authority. When the government was shut down, she took it upon herself to put a resource list together for the calls that we were getting to help us citizens of Escambia County. And while it's never expected, the personal touches, the "have you eaten today" from the director's aide, it doesn't go unnoticed. So with that, she cares about the county, her coworkers, and I'm going to read her proclamation. Whereas Escambia County has established an Employee of the Month program to recognize one employee to represent various departments, and whereas Nasasha Crenshaw England, Director's Aide of the Human Resources Department, began her employment with the county on August 2nd, 2016, and is selected as Employee of the Month for January 2026 for the standards of excellence she displays in her performance of her duties. And whereas, in her role as Director's Aide, Nasasha provides executive and administrative support to the Director, Deputy Director, and 4 divisions of the Human Resources Department, along with managing and hosting team-building activities. And whereas she has successfully coordinated the supervisor training and works to ensure it is implemented on a consistent basis. And whereas she's been instrumental in managing the Human Resources UKG contract. And whereas Nasasha serves as the heartbeat of the human resources, from employee recognition to ensuring smooth interactions through scheduling and coordinating negotiations with the unions to creating activities for boosting morale. And whereas Nasasha is an active participant and leader in the Summer Youth Program and Mental Health Ambassador team. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Escambia County, Florida hereby commends and congratulates Ms. Nasasha Crenshaw England in her selection as Employee of the Month for January 2026. Board of County Commissioners, Escambia County, Florida, Ashley Hoffberger, Chair, District 4, Steve Strohberger, Vice Chair, District 1, Lumen J. May, District 3, Stephen Berry, District 5, Michael S. Kohler, District 2.
Thank you. First, giving honor to God tonight, to my amazing team for nominating me, the committee for selecting me, and you, the board, for recognizing me tonight. If I can leave something with you tonight, remember, all you need is faith, trust, and a little pixie dust. Thank you.
It's sad you have me beat on that. So I just want to say, you were one of the people who lifts the spirit of the room. I got in the elevator with you and it had been a crap morning. And you were just so nice and so kind. And I get out of the elevator and I walk in and I tell Melanie, I was like, she is the nicest person. And she had the biggest smile and you were just so warm and friendly. And it totally changed the trajectory of my day. So I just want to tell you, people recognize that and they feel it when they're around you. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Natasha, thank you. I mean, it's so hard to get in that office, but you always get me in there, so I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I mean, without you, I probably would never go down to Human Resources.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Madam Clerk, did the clerk's office receive the proofs of publication for the public hearings on the agenda and the board's weekly meeting schedule?
Madam Chair, the clerk's office has received all proofs.
Okay. Do I have a motion to second? All in favor? 5-0, that passes. Moving on to public hearings. Public hearing 531, we have a speaker if there is an objection to moving 531. Jill Stillwalter, Satterwhite, I'm sorry. Satterwhite.
If she's in support, I'll move the item.
Yeah, I'll second. I was in support of it. It's in my
Okay,
district.
all in favor?
I was trying to help you.
Okay,
Yeah, I
passes
didn't know she was
5-0.
a speaker, not sorry.
Thank you. Public hearing 532, we do not have any speakers.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There should have been one person sign up. Their agent is here because there does need to be a clarification on what is being vacated.
Okay.
So I'll rescind that motion then. If
Okay, so
Meredith
this
is
is-
coming up.
Thank you. Public hearing 532, consider the petition to vacate a portion of Lost Bay subdivision plat.
Thank you, Meredith Bush, 314 South Balin. Yes, the petition was advertised to vacate the whole of Lot 3. However, we subsequently transferred a portion of the property to the holders of Lot 1 and 2, and so we're actually vacating a reduced amount. The documents have subsequently been revised, but the county did ask that we make that clarification.
Do we need to re-advertise anything?
No, it is a smaller area that's being vacated than what was advertised. I'm okay with that. It's not larger than what was advertised, so it's fine. The backup documents do reflect the smaller area, so I think a motion that just says, you know, as amended, the rest of the documents and the description should be in your backup already.
Okay, wonderful. Commissioner Stroberger, I believe this is in your district.
Yeah, so is the sole purpose for this vacation to allow a private developer to meet stormwater retention requirements? Is that what we're doing here?
So I know that in large part, the project addresses the stormwater concerns in the area, but the vacation was necessary for the new development, yes.
So how did we allow this to happen without proper stormwater retention planning? Who can answer that?
Say what?
Commissioner Stroberger, the stormwater retention planning will be part of the development, and it goes through the plans review, through Development Review Committee.
So this was part of the plan, was to...
It will be.
It's a roughly 4 or 5 acres of county property, right? It looked like it from looking at the map.
The vacation request has been reviewed by all impacted county departments.
If I may, for clarification, this is a plat vacation, so they are taking out the drainage area easement, is that correct? And because it was platted as Lot 3 of Lost Bay, and that portion had a drainage easement that ran along it. So it's vacating everything of that. It is nothing that we have. It's not a county alleyway, right-of-way, it's just part of that plat.
It's removing an old plat, so.
It sounds like it's become the county's responsibility, isn't it? The developer's responsibility to do this, not ours? And we're giving away county asset, is what it sounds like to me. Isn't that what we're doing?
No, so the county previously recorded a plat. We're removing the plat. The developer would be responsible for the stormwater and the new development, absolutely. So this is, I believe, a 40-year-old commercial plat that we're simply removing the old plat so that Lot 3 can be subsequently developed. But it's not vacation of county property, it's vacation of a previously recorded plat.
I think we're wording this differently. It's still county property. It's not?
So it's private property and you're redrawing the property
Right.
lines?
Basically, yes.
It's
Who
basically
owns it?
Clearing the slate.
That's not what I read. I read it was county. It's not?
Looks like it, I'm assuming Twin Hollows LLC owns it?
Yes, the property's owned by Twin Hollows
Okay.
LLC.
Forget everything I said then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we grant the petition for the vacation.
Do we have a second?
Second.
As amended, Commissioner Stroberger.
As amended to reflect the smaller area as requested by the applicant,
As amended by the small area
requested by the applicant.
requested by the applicant. Thank you.
And my second stands for that amendment.
All in favor? 4-0 with Commissioner May, not at the dais. You vote yes, 5-0, thank you. Public hearing 533, we have no speakers on this one. Do we have a motion to move that forward?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? 5-0, thank you. Madam Clerk, the clerk and comptroller's report, we do have one speaker, Larry Downs Jr., on item number 1. Larry? Yes. Item number 1 on the clerk and comptroller's report.
Number 1. I forgot, I was so excited a while ago. Larry Downs Jr. Plumbing LLC, because fecal matters. All right, this is the investment portfolio, and I know that there's a lot of budgeting in there, you know, that goes, that covers a lot of different departments. So I'm just assuming I can talk about the investments in our money. This one right here, this one in particular, is the budget for the EMS. And I'm sure through these investments and also through our taxes, we are funding all these. So that being the case, I want to do this right now. Hold on, because here's the amount. So basically our for 2024-2025, the budget for EMS was $26.79 million. Now, y'all know I'm not agreeing with y'all investing our money, you know, investment portfolios. That's something that the private sector does, you know. I don't necessarily trust y'all to invest our money wisely. And anybody who does, you know, well, they've lost their minds to trust government to invest your money or to tell you to get COVID shots or whatever. Don't listen to them. So anyways, here's my deal on the EMS, because I did the public records request for the calls for service. This is another public records request that I'm making right now, and I can do it here. I want the calls for service, and I want what each calls for service was for. Like you mentioned, cardiac arrest, resuscitation, stroke, any type of call that call was for, I'm putting together, because the calls for service went up after the magic super secret sauce shots. And so I really don't care what it costs, even though it shouldn't cost us, because it's our records. And according to Chapter 119, Public Records Act, we're supposed to get our public records in a timely fashion, and it shouldn't be costing us, because it should be just a few clicks of a button. You know, with AI and all this kind of stuff, it should be easy to get it. So anyways, that's what I'm requesting. So if y'all would, please provide that to me within a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Their cardiac arrests, those were 978 calls out of 93,682 calls.
Let me clarify. I want it from 2019 through 2024, okay, so that I can compare. Thank you.
Thanks. Madam Clerk.
There are 2 items on the agenda. The first one is the November 30th, 2025 investment report with the corresponding amounts investment and the return, and the second is minutes and reports prepared. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Do I have a motion to move the report?
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. Larry was signed up for the second item as well.
Thank you. Just hold up, horse. Hold your horses, horse. All right. Yeah, and on this one here, you know, this is an agenda item, so I want to speak on it because it's the Gary, it's the, hold on, make sure I'm in the right place here. Yeah, the Gary Sansing Public Forum held on December 11th. I'm really getting annoyed, and I'm sure other people are getting their times cut down. I don't know why we can't go back to pre-Lumen times when he stopped us from being able to talk the full 3 minutes and donate some minutes. The school board does it. They still do it. They don't like it, and I understand that y'all don't like it. I get it. But we need an hour here. This is a big county. I've been to small counties that they give more time with the rooms full, and they give them the time. So whenever you're talking about y'all getting paid to do this job, hey, Lumen, this is my time. Jesus, just let me have my time.
It's not an agenda item.
It is an agenda item. It says it right here.
It's the report of the Gary Sansing Public Forum. So anyways, chairs can do this. If I ever get in one of those chairs, these people are going to be able to talk till y'all walk out. I guarantee you, y'all are going to campaign against me on District 1. I promise you. You don't want me sitting next to y'all. Dingle twins.
So full disclosure, when we're campaigning and we do public forums and public debates, they give us 2 minutes. So that is something that we also have to abide by. Okay, now, Madam Clerk, I'm so sorry. Do we have a motion to move the report? Do we have a second? All in favor? 5-0, thank you. Moving on to growth management report. Horace, if you'll come up. Thank you.
Happy New Year, Commissioners and everyone. For tonight, we have rezoning case Z 2025-10 from high-density mixed use to commercial. The planning board made a recommendation for approval.
We have no speakers.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0, thank you.
The next item is the adoption of the official zoning map 545.
We have no speakers.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0, thank you.
The next item is the rezoning case Z 2025-11 from RR to, from RR to RR, from AGR to RR. I need glasses. The planning board made a recommendation for approval.
We have no speakers. Do we have a second?
Second, yes.
All in favor? 5-0, thank you.
The next item is adoption of the official zoning map.
So moved.
All in favor? 5-0, thank you.
547 is to review and adopt Chapter 10 infrastructure element to review and adopt.
No speakers.
So moved.
Okay. I'm sorry, who made the motion? I'll make the motion to approve 547. Okay, Commissioner Kohler, and then Commissioner Berry, second. All in favor? 5-0, thank you. Moving on to the GMR consent agenda, item number 1, we do have a speaker. That's Ms. Mary Konopka. Mary, if you would like to approach the podium for GMR 2-1.
The consent agenda. That's the consent agenda.
This is on the Project Britain.
No, ma'am, that would be the next one, which you are also signed up to speak to. This is a recommendation on scheduling public hearings. We have
It's
2
a
public
consent
hearings we're
agenda.
looking at scheduling.
That confused. I didn't sign up for that. Or there was a misprint.
I moved the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of moving the consent agenda? 5-0, thank you.
There's a change to the rezoning case that's scheduled for February the 5th. The planning board meeting, they made a motion to drop that item for the February 5th planning board case, Officer Sessions.
Okay, so,
Applicant withdrew the case.
all right, so you're saying the consent agenda doesn't include the February, the second case?
Yes, it
All
was
right,
withdrawn.
I rescind my previous vote,
So
Madam Chair.
I'll second it and rescind it and accept your friendly amendment to another motion.
All right.
As amended, okay. All in favor? 5-0, thank you. Thank you, Horace, we appreciate your time. Wes, the county administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Madam
We do have
Chair.
2
There are
speakers.
5 items on the technical public service consent agenda. There are no changes. Please hold card 1-3 for 2 speakers.
Okay,
Car, do that, 1-2, please.
1-2?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to discuss that, but let's do that first.
No, 1-2.
Okay. Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion to move the balance, all in favor? Okay, 5-0, thank you. Commissioner May?
Thank you. Director Thaddeus or Davenport. So this goes in effect July 2025, July. multiple members. I serve as the chair as the Transportation Disadvantage Board. Many of my members reached out because this has not been discussed at our board meeting for Transportation Disadvantage Board. So is it time sensitive, or can we move this back to after our Transportation Disadvantage meeting?
Is it time sensitive?
Yes, sir, but if we need more time to.
Yeah, it doesn't go into effect to July 1st, correct?
Yes, sir,
So it was, I mean, with all due respect, I mean, we do serve as a Transportation Disadvantage Board. It doesn't go into effect to July 1. And so I'd just
Staff
like
is
to
fine
drop
with
it.
that, Commissioner.
So look, I just moved to drop it.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I move to drop it and bring it back.
Is there an unintended consequence, Allison?
It says last July.
No, it's a 5-year.
It's a 5-year extension from where we are now.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
a
what
five.
it is? Okay.
Yeah, but we don't know. I've actually talked to the state people today. It's not time sensitive, so I've already talked to the state today.
Okay, so we have a motion to drop it and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0, thank you. Item number 3, which is the recommendation concerning an E-date. We do have 2 speakers. Mary Konopka, you'll go first, and then Chris Platay will be after Mary Konopka.
That agenda confuses me, trying to follow y'all on it. This is the Britain project,
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
which has not been well advertised. I couldn't find anything on it until I happened to see WEAR TV spend 60 seconds on it. Looking on the agenda, it looks like the question is granting them exemption from ad valorem taxes for 10 years. That's what I saw. Looked up the Florida statute. It said that y'all can do that, but it must be a jurisdictional thing. Everybody has to want that. So if that's what you're looking for, to free them of taxes for 10 years, I want to see it on the ballot in November.
Okay. Our next speaker is Chris Platay. Thank you so much.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, it is such a great pleasure to bring before you tonight Project Britain. Tonight is like a little bit of a late Christmas. We can actually tell you who it is. So they are known as Field International Group. The company is seeking a resolution of support for an E-date for phase 1 of their project with an estimated capital investment of $8 million in machinery and equipment and 50 jobs that will be having an average pay of $80,000. And again, this is phase 1. Field International Group is a global engineering and manufacturing firm currently headquartered in the United Kingdom. The firm produces precision engineering, tooling, and ground support equipment for the aerospace, transport, energy, and medical industries. Founded in the United Kingdom in 1995, the company has built a global footprint delivering design, manufacturing, and on-site services for aerospace OEMs, such as a Boeing or Airbus, maintenance, repair, and overhaul, or MRO operators, and related industrial clients. Field International's capabilities include engineering, design, precision machining, fabrication, tool assembly, and maintenance services. And the company has operations in the UK, India, China, and Singapore. Our relationship with the company was initiated by Florida's Great Northwest, our wonderful regional economic development partner, which played a central role in positioning the region as a competitive location to do business. Florida West and Florida's Great Northwest worked hand in hand with the company, their leadership, until Escambia County became the remaining location in Florida, and then ultimately with us being named the #1 preferred site. The last hurdle is achieving a resolution of support tonight. Then the company's first phase of operations will focus on core engineering and manufacturing activities supporting aerospace tooling and ground support equipment. If the company is granted the resolution, their presence in Escambia County is expected to enhance the local manufacturing base and employment opportunities in precision manufacturing and precision engineering. While Florida West is the tip of the spear and manages the process to make any economic development project come to fruition, it takes a lot of partners. And that starts with county staff, Florida's Great Northwest, University of West Florida, Pensacola State College, CareerSource Escarosa, and so many others to make this happen. So I want to thank you for the consideration of support of this resolution of support for Field International Group. Hopefully we can get them to finalize their move to Escambia County. We do have representatives of the company here tonight if you have any specific questions of them.
You nailed it. Thank you. Board? Commissioner Sternberger?
Yeah,
or
I
Commissioner
had a few questions. So, Chris,
yes,
so these 50 jobs, and these are going to be local hires, or will they be bringing people in? Or we're going to hire local residents who are currently existing here in Escambia County, or will they be bringing people in from outside of Escambia County to take these jobs?
No, they could, as they recruit for maybe some of the higher end professional jobs, they may have a broader net to pull people in, but their goal is to hire from within Escambia County. I can also have them address that. But looking at them and talking to them about their other locations, even the people that run those facilities are local. So in Singapore, it's a Singaporean, not a UK person managing their facilities.
And I honestly, before we move the vote, I would be interested in that. And, are we importing the executives who make the six figures and employing those who may be at the lower end? So, I'd be very curious to know, are we hiring local, and what is the average salary of the locals that we'll hire?
Thank you so much for having us here. So throughout our businesses around the world, we do not take our UK people and put them into those businesses. We do hire locally, and our goal here will be exactly the same thing. It will be jobs for Escambia County.
And what's the average wage of the local salaries?
So there'll be a wide range of salary ranges. So we will start at potentially from around the $40,000 mark, and we can then hit up to about $150,000.
So the low four, so if we were looking at, I guess, the medium, the average salary is 40, and if we're talking 50 people, will it be closer to, will 25 people be closer to 40, or 25 people be closer to the 150?
So the majority of our work will be in CNC machining, which will be up to closer around that 80,000 mark.
And those are positions where you need like a workforce certificate from Pensacola State, something like that?
Sorry.
So that, for sure, they'll definitely need to go through some of the certification programs for the CNC machining, as well as any welding or anything else that may come along.
Have we aligned that training up? In our workforce training, have we spoken with George Stone or Pensacola State? Are we aligned to start preparing people for these jobs?
Yes.
Kind of like ST Aerospace, there is some type of training, because I know this is kind of...
Absolutely. We've already been in contact with the university and are looking to help get those training programs going.
So over the course of this E-date of 10 years, so what's the projected growth? We start with 50, and so, what are we increasing year by year? And candidly, the life of this requested E-date, how many, at the end of this E-date, how many jobs do we anticipate that we're going to have at the end of 10 years?
So within phase one, we're looking at those initial 50, and within phase two, we're looking to go up to 100 jobs.
So total after 10 years, it would be 100 jobs
if not more.
So that bring, over 10 years, at the end of that would be $80 to $100 million in the county. It's $4 million a year at their cumulative rate. I know that'd bring a lot of, that's pretty good. I think.
Commissioner Sternberger?
I didn't question it. I'd like to have more than 100 jobs, but I didn't question that. But
yeah, I don't know what the economic impact is, but.
So I support this because I think Project Britain is bringing the exact type of jobs and economic development Escambia County should be pursuing, high-paid, high-wage jobs, private sector, and capital investment. So I do support it. But I want to know, I need to know this, is we're not actually granting the tax exemption tonight, right? I mean, it's simply, we're establishing the intent.
And allowing for them to go to the state and allowing for Chris to work with them. But I mean, as when I met with council, I mean, it would be misleading to,
Yeah, and once they deliver.
they'll come
boom,
back, but
right.
so
I like this.
formalities.
I think this is about being competitive, disciplined, and strategic. I totally support it. And I think it sends a signal that Escambia County welcomes high-quality employers who invest here, hire here, and stay here. Thank you.
So Chris, are there any Triumph dollars going into this?
No, it's because it's a fairly small project in relation to a Triumph project. So this company, the machinery and equipment is what the investment is initially. And so that's going to go into an existing building that they're going to lease while they build a brand-new 100,000 square foot facility at some point in the future. That'll be their permanent home and headquarters.
So the new 100,000 square foot facility, when would construction commence on that? Do you know?
Yeah, so we are targeting an initial 3-year period in the current facility that we're looking to lease, and then after that 3-year period, we're looking to go into that 100,000 square foot.
So that's coming relatively quick.
It'll be soon, yes.
Yeah, because it'll take 18 months to construct, so you're talking about probably 18 months before we begin construction.
Which I'm supportive because, I mean, obviously we'll get sales tax on $100 million, which would certainly, for the most part, stay local and create jobs. I do have one question. Debbie, could you help me or whoever does economic development, or Wes, or whoever, Liz, I don't know. No, it's a simple question. I don't know if somebody can answer it. But how much, because E-dates are real money because we get it. How much do we have out in E-dates right now, Navy Federal? I mean, what's the number that we have right now of tax exemptions that we have on the books right now?
I knew you would ask that.
You knew I would ask. Well, you had to answer me.
Yes, so we have two.
I've only asked it
E-dates.
like 20 times. I asked it every time, so it's nothing new.
We have 2 open E-dates right now. We have one with Navy Federal and we have one with Southtown Apartments. Last fiscal year, so 2025, it was just over $3.5 million that we forgave in taxes for E-dates.
Per year.
Per year.
And those, when does Southtown expire?
I believe they're both in 2028.
And they average 3,000 a year?
3,500 between them and Navy Federal total.
How many jobs did Navy Federal provide?
They did phases, so they've had, gosh, I want to say like 8 different E-dates over several years that kind of overlapped as they built.
Yeah, they've had a great run.
Yeah, I don't know how many total, I would have to look.
They are the largest employer in Escambia County.
And how many did absolutely they are. How many did Southtown provide?
Southtown actually got bought out somewhere in the middle of their E-date, but it was over 100 jobs.
Okay, thank you.
And just for one more clarification, what's brought forth to you today is actually just a resolution of support. That is saying that when they actually fill out a full E-day application, that your intent is to support them, but that we will have to do some public hearings and then bring forth the actual application too.
Yeah, although it's not binding, I mean, it would be misleading to support his resolution and not support it when they came forward. So, I mean, if I was voting for it, I'm going to vote for it, both times, and so, and I am going to support it.
I mean, Liz may have the details much better than I do. I didn't think South Point was sold midpoint in their E-date. I think it was sold immediately after the E-date was granted, I thought, or shortly after. But.
I don't know. So, Chris, are there any restrictions, I mean, in granting these E-dates? And, I mean, and so that's a good point, Commissioner Berry. If there's a commitment to these 100 jobs, Commissioner Kohler, that they're going to give, I mean, how do we protect that it's not sold off and they don't adhere? And what's our clawback? I mean, are you going to, when you come back with a resolution, will there be a clawback if they sell or if they don't provide it?
There's no clawback because it's performance-based. So if the company performs and provides those jobs, then they would qualify. If they sell it to another entity, but the entity keeps the company going and those jobs are there, it would stay.
The only clawback is if they don't do the 50 and then 100 jobs by the end of the 10 years.
If the 50 is only, we're only talking about the 50 for this E-date. we'll bring a second project because that'll be with a real property.
So would that be another E-date? So we're saying like that'll be, so that'd be maybe 20 years on 100 jobs? and-
They'll overlap, so it'll be the same 10, it'll be 12 years total.
But that'll be on phase two, that's a whole different
Right.
investment.
Right,
So
so
right now
that
we're
would
talking.
start with the next, when you start building the construction of the,
So now we're just talking about a 10-year E-date for 50 jobs is what we're talking about, right?
yes, sir. And then we'll bring you another E-date for the additional 50 and the additional 12 million plus. So there'll be, the total project is 20 million, 100 jobs, but
And-
this is just phase one.
If I can, Commissioner May, just with regards to the clawback question, the board does have the lawful authority to repeal an E-date ordinance within the lifespan of that ordinance should the target industry cease to exist or not deliver on the metrics that it promised or something like that. And there is some oversight between the county and the property appraiser's office. We've done that once where we had a business that I think had either gone under or had laid off a bunch of employees, and we eventually did repeal their E-date before the full 10 years was up. You can do that.
Thank you.
Chris,
Thank you.
just
Thank you,
said
Madam
something.
Council.
You said $20 million. That, I love math. 50 jobs, 80,000 is $4 million a year. That's $40 million over 10 years, not 20 million.
No, CapEx, so it's on the hard spend. So it'd be on machinery and equipment's the 8. I'm not talking about the south, not talking about
Okay,
wages
gotcha.
at all.
Okay, all right.
So what the E-date is really affecting is what your property tax on the machinery and equipment and the.
Understood now. I
and
just wanted to
future
make
real
sure.
estate.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I got it now. Thank you.
Commissioner May, your light's still on. Do you have any other discussion?
No.
Nope. Okay. Do
Thank
we
you
have
all.
a motion to move this item forward?
I move the item.
All in favor? 5-0. Thank you. Congratulations. We're excited to have your business. Okay, moving forward, Wes, the budget and finance consent agenda.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. 17 items on the budget finance consent agenda. There are no changes. Please hold car 2-5 for a speaker.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, our speaker for car 2-5 is Ms. Mary Konopka. And this is relating to the State Law Enforcement Trust Fund.
On the agenda, under 2-5, there's 2 items. I signed up for each one, A and B, because I didn't know how you were going to do that.
Oh, it's one item. So the LET dollars, that's one item. So it would be 3 minutes for the item 5.
And then animal control, I get 3 minutes on?
No, ma'am, it's one item, no, item number 5. So the fund itself is the topic.
All right, we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Animal control, I support the funding for animal control. Their efforts cover the entire county and benefit everybody. And I'm sure there's stray animals on almost every block in this county. We all want animal control to work to prevent cruelty to animals and keep us safe from vicious attacks. The Real Woman Radio Foundation, I do not support. I understand it's going through LET and it's not my dollars going to it. But we can take those dollars in LET, Chip Simmons, and we can put them towards a robust school resource officer program that will touch everybody. It will cover more people than this one Real Woman Radio Foundation venue's gonna cover. They want the money for food and for shoes to give to the teenagers because they want to attract the attention of teenagers. They expect 150 youth and families. This money could be used for all of us. Again, a robust school officer program. The Real Women Radio Foundation on the internet, they describe themselves as a charity to amplify Black voices. And that's great. But that's pretty racist if you just do them, because there's white voices there's Filipino voices, there's Asian voices, all sorts of voices, Latino voices. They have the same problems. They need drug education, drug prevention, constant teaching, not just one venue to say, hey, you shouldn't do this, and this is how you get successful. You do it in the schools with a good school resource officer, and that affects everyone, just not 150 people.
Thank you, ma'am. Do I have a motion to move the item forward? All in favor? 5-0, thank you. Allison, the county attorney's report.
We have one.
Oh, I'm
One
sorry.
item on CAR 3,
I'm sorry, yes.
acquisition of real property for the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0, thank you.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's one item on tonight's county attorney's report. I can answer any questions you may have.
I make a motion to drop, no.
I move the item, I second that. Is that a motion or a second? Are you seconding it? I second it.
All in favor? All right, thank you, Allison. I know I've worked with you the least out of everybody, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to a great year. Okay, with that, is there any further discussion? Nope, awesome. Meeting adjourned. What's up, public?